remember I went and stole a cake from Gelson's Market.
Oh, fuck.
I said, I'm going to bring a cake. So I had him write sober, whatever year it was. It was like 5 years ago. And I said, oh, this is going to get me in the door again to like be able to shower a few days. So I brought the cake and they really like believed it. Like I was like, I'm going to dedicate this new year to sobriety.
Real fucking junkie shit, man.
Yeah.
What's it like for you with 4 kids? He's gone. I mean, keeping it all together. One is my husband alive, then taking care of these precious children, feeding them, school, all. Well, walk us through that, please. Welcome back to the Seano Show. I'm your host, Seano McFarland. Tonight's guests didn't grow up with a safety net. They grew up with survival instincts. They come from a long line of gangs, addiction, and hard-earned lessons learned the long way. They met in high school, ran together, fell together, and somehow found their way back to life. Bobby is 4 years sober, runs a successful business, is living proof that the past doesn't get the final vote. Des walked the same road, and together they're raising 8 kids while breaking cycles most people never even name. Tonight isn't just about addiction recovery, it's about the women. We're here to salute you tonight, honestly. This show is about you. The moms who held the families together when everything was falling apart, the unseen glue, the quiet strength, the reason any of this worked at all. This tonight is a conversation about friendship, fatherhood, sobriety, accountability, and what it really takes to change a story. Welcome, Bobby and Des, to the Seano Show.
Thank you for having us.
Wow. I've been wanting this to happen a long time, but God's timing is perfect. Today is the day. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. How about both of you, just a little backstory where you grew up, and then I'll start with you, and then Bobby will go a little backstory where you grew up.
I grew up in actually East LA, but we moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And then I ended up over here around 15 years old in this area.
In the Venice,
and that's when I met him.
Whoa. And Bobby, it'd be a long line of Venice folks, right?
Yes.
Little history of your history here.
My family's been in Venice since 1920. Generations of drug abuse, alcohol abuse, a lot of gang violence. Grew up around that, saw some stuff that, I, as a kid, shouldn't have probably seen, but had a good family. And that really helped me out a lot.
Beautiful. And you guys meet at Venice High?
We did.
How old were you?
I was 15.
You were
17.
You were 17. What was that first encounter like?
Actually, yeah, he actually pursued me, wanted to date me. I kind of didn't want.
Why?
I don't know. I was kind of seeing someone and I just didn't even want to look that way at first, but he was good at talking.
He was persistent?
He was very, yeah. And I actually had colorful, it's a joke of ours. I had colorful nail polish. Each one had a different color and he really liked that.
He liked that. He pointed that out.
He pointed that out.
And how long did he pursue you?
He kept on. I want to say
Few months.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, what was it about her that like?
I think it was that she didn't give me the time of day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that bothered me. I wasn't used to that. And I like that she can hold her own. I seen her fight a few girls in school.
Oh.
Yeah,
we got to tell the truth.
I seen her beat up one of the bullies and she was tiny. And I like that. I was like, oh, this girl, she could fight.
She can get down.
Yeah, she's down. So, I kept pursuing her and I tried every trick in the book and I just kept on trying.
And then one day she said, all right, I'll be your girl.
He seemed like a nice guy. Everything that I thought should be.
I remember sitting in front of Venice High and we're on the grass. And I said, hey, I want to give you, everything you want in life, this beautiful life.
And I'm not joking. He really sat there and said, if you give me a chance, you're going to have a good life with me. I'll give you everything you need. We'll travel. We'll do this. I mean, he, at that age, was telling me that he'd give me the world. And I was just like, okay.
Wow. When you just knew she was your girl?
I don't know what it was. When I saw her, I pursued her, and then it was, I don't know how to explain it. It's just I kept chasing her, and then when I got her, I didn't look around after that. I was just like locked in. Wow. I still have the note with the pager. Or you still have it. I gave her my number to call me.
On the pager.
Yeah.
I love it.
Pager. That's it. We're telling our age.
And our first date was on Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day.
How long ago was that? 19 what?
That was 98, I think.
No, because I graduated in 97. So like 96.
96. Wow.
Yeah.
Coming up on that anniversary.
Yeah.
And then how long till you guys got married?
We got married when I was 20. I was 20 and you were 19.
So 3-year courtship, basically.
Mhm.
Yeah.
With
What was that like?
Ooh, that was a lot of drama.
A lot of drama? Give me what? Yeah, let the listeners know what that was like.
We went through a lot of rough, things. He started getting into the wrong stuff, drugs. And because I did let him in, I let my guard down, and things didn't go as I thought were going to go. And he started getting into drugs and all that stuff. Even at a young age, it started happening. And we just kept having those issues and lies and stuff. But we just kept trying. So,
And then you got pregnant.
and I got pregnant, and
And it just got worse, I feel.
we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know
Kids.
We
anything.
were kids.
Yeah.
So you're chipping away pretty good,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm like getting in it. I'm holding a job, and then I disappear for like a week or two.
Just go off, even at 18, 19?
Yeah.
You're just on a run.
Just gone.
So
Nobody
let's
knows where
start
I'm
there.
at.
What was that like for you? You're young. Do you have a kid? No, so you don't have a child
Not
yet.
yet at that time.
But this is your fella,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what's going through you then?
At that time, I was so young. I didn't know what was right, wrong, or anything. I just knew I wanted love. I came from a background where my parents basically were in and out of jail, abandoned me. So all I wanted was someone to love, a family. So I seen him, thought he is a good guy. He had a job, everything that I was trying to go against. So I thought he's the one, but it seemed like everything I didn't want was happening to me. So it was like the drugs, but it was like here and there. So I didn't know, like, okay, he would only do drugs here and there and then show up here and there. So it wasn't like my brain was telling me he's a bad guy. It was just like, oh, he'll just do it here and there, show up. So maybe keep giving him a chance. And I think that felt worse looking back, because I didn't have that like black and white where he's a bad guy and I should walk away. It was just like he would chip here and there, take off. But yet he was deep down, I thought he was a good guy.
And you kept forgiving him.
Kept forgiving him. Mm-hmm.
And then more kids.
And then more kids.
Then more kids.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask, and you're still doing your thing, right? Still disappearing?
Yeah. Disappearing was my thing. It got worse and worse. It was like cocaine, crack. And I would be like, I'd hold the job, and then I'd go on a little like, drug run, show up 2 a.m, beg to come in, and then like, my nice guy skills kicked in and said, look, I'm sorry, and
The attic apology.
the
I'll
attic
never do it
apology.
again.
The honeymoon, I call it.
Yeah.
And I would do, like, I always had a good job, and I would do that and then go out and do it until I think the heroin stuff came
It was
through.
no more weekends.
It was bad.
So how far into the marriage did that start, Bobby?
Mercedes, when I had her. That's when. So Mercedes is,
Oh, you can remember by the birth of Mercedes. Wow.
that's when I knew, like, this is not a weekend thing. Even though that was horrible, it was like I would get caught up in the honeymoon stages of where is he? Worried. Is he dead? Alive? Then he would show up, and I would be so relieved that he was alive that the anger would go away because he's there alive, and then he would treat me so good. The house clean, the cooking, the kids, that it made me forget that he was gone that weekend. And then when he started doing that, it was just like, he's never here. The lies are just, so many lies. And it just got worse. And to the point where I knew, like, okay, this is not just a weekend thing. I don't even know how to get out of this. I didn't know what to do. I had no clue. There was no one there showing me this was wrong.
So you're keeping all this inside.
Oh, yeah. I was so young too, with kids.
So at that point, when you started chipping away and on the heroin and how many kids did you have at that point?
4.
Wow.
4
So
kids.
what's it like for you with 4 kids? He's gone. I mean, keeping it all together. One is my husband alive, then taking care of these precious children, feeding them, school, walk us through that, please.
I think because I didn't have a mom growing up, that all I knew was to be like what I didn't have, that I was like, I'm just going to show up for them. If it meant just getting through each day of waking up, taking them to school, making sure that they had a normal life, because I didn't have it, whether it was meals. So that kept me going. That kept me like, if I could just do that, then mentally I'll be okay. And that somehow one day he'll get it. Like, that's all I just thought in my head. And just, I love being a mom. I mean, that just to sit there with them, play with them. So I think that just kept me going.
And then what's going through your mind right now, Bobby?
Kind of thinking about that time.
Yeah.
It
We
was
haven't
pretty
thought
dark.
about that. Wow.
I mean, her just talking about that, I remember, like, I'd come back and she'd say, help the kids get ready, and I would like halfway comb their hair and not tuck in the shirt. And she was like so adamant that they had their hair combed right, shoes on right, matching, like everything. And I was like, did you grow up like that? Because, I didn't really think it was a big deal, but she wanted to be the opposite of how she grew up. And it came out in things like that. Like, they always had food. They were never missed school. They had clothes. Like, and I look back and I don't know how we made it, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't.
Yeah.
But that whole element was always intact. Like, it's crazy.
And then more kids.
And I just love being a mom. So
You love being a mom.
I was like, let's have more kids. And that
We
tells
didn't
you a
say
lot.
that.
No, I
We
didn't
didn't
say
say
that.
that.
I'm
It's-
saying
Yeah, I
that
get it.
now. And when I look back, I wish someone was there. I don't want to get emotional, but I wish.
Well, you can allowed to get emotional. Go ahead. Don't hold. Yeah, you're allowed to get emotional. It's important. Looking back, you wish who was there for you?
I wish someone was there. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't. I mean, I thank God everything turned out great, but I didn't know having kids in this situation was not always the best. I don't regret them. They saved me, I feel. And I think that's what I thought what I was doing was saving. It's not like I had a kid and I'm like, if I have a kid, he's going to change. Like, that wasn't the thing, but it was like, I think that saved me. Now that I look back, I think having them was like, there's a purpose for me to get up every morning. And I think that's why I had kids and in a big family, because it's like, that's what I wanted, to have that family.
I mean, the drugs have changed now. Like you said, you're coming, you're helping them, but you're on the nod. I mean, we'll send some pictures. You're just like out of it.
It got worse and worse. And like rehab, I mean, I've been to rehab over 40 times.
Been to rehab 40 times,
40 plus times. Yeah.
Wow.
In and out of detoxes and running out the door. And like, I always had these bags that I'd had ready to go. And I mean, I would say, come on, this time, I promise. Go in, start kicking, go out the back door. But I just, like, now that we're talking about this, it's like, I can picture how dark it was. Like, her with the kids in the car, dropping me off, and everybody still had, whether it was the 30th time or 20th time, they still had the hope for me. Like, you got this. Like, I didn't ever see doubt in their mind, you know, in the kids.
Wow.
And
So she's dropping you off with the kids and they're all cheering you on.
yeah.
All different ages.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like, you know, I think about it, and I did a lot of damage, just selfish. And I always had drugs on me. I always, like, you know, I would spend the rent money. Never had gas in the car, you know. Thank God for my parents that always kind of stepped in and helped us out, you know. But it was dark. It was really dark.
And then you get arrested, you know, again. You're at county jail. We're going to say?
A few times.
Yeah, a few times, but you're at county jail.
This last time?
Yeah, the last time.
Yeah,
Walk the audience through that.
I was on 2.5 grams of fentanyl a day, for about maybe 2.5, 3 years.
I think. Yeah, 3 years.
That was terrible. That was the worst. I felt like I had no soul. Didn't care if I lived or died. I would wake up gurgling, like halfway, like losing my breath, and just go right to it. I'd be locked in the bathroom. I'd get kicked out. They'd call the police. I'd break in the house. And it was just torment. So it was New Year's Eve, right? I think it was New Year's Eve. And all my family, because we have a big family, and they all come from, you know, the background, and they were there. And I remember I went and stole a cake from Gelson's Market. I said, I'm going to bring a cake. So I had them write sober, whatever year it was. It was like 5 years ago. And I said, oh, this is going to get me in the door again to, like, be able to shower a few days. So I brought the cake, and they really, like, believed it. Like, I was like, I'm going to dedicate this new year to sobriety.
It's real fucking junkie shit, man.
Yeah. And they kind of, like, gave me that, like, all right, is this the time, you know? And I was dark at that time. Like, I just had really bad motives, and stealing money.
You'd given up on yourself in some ways, right?
I was just living day to day. So did the cake thing. Everybody's like, all right, let's see what you do. So 3 days later, real cocky, out in the street, just driving stolen cars. And, you know, we were getting arrested, and they were citing you out because it was COVID. So, you know, they'd be like, hey, you know, here, come to court. Here's a ticket because of the COVID stuff. So I was running with that. And then I got pulled over. I was in my daughter's car. Just went and copped some dope. I was dope sick. Had the dope in my hand. Lights are on. Pull over. And he ran the plate, asked my name, and he asked me to get out of the car. When he asked me to get out of the car, I knew this ain't going to go good. So I stashed it, got out of the car. He said, hey, you got a warrant? And I said, yeah. And he's like, I said, aren't you guys citing out still? And he's like, nah, things are changing. And I said, okay. So he handcuffed me, went to Pacific Station first, and I was cool. I was just like, oh, I'm going to get out. I had money on my book. I had money in my pocket. And I was like, oh, I'm going to be cool. I had like $500 in my pocket. Des, come pick it up at the jail. Bail me out with the money.
I said, okay.
And she came, took my money. And I remember falling asleep, and I woke up, and it was like 7 a.m. and they're picking me up to go to county jail. And I'm like, wait, my wife probably already did the paperwork to get me out. And they're like, nobody's called. You know what I mean? So I ended up going to county, and I remember getting a quick call, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, and
he said, are you going to bail me out? And I said, no, I'm not bailing you out.
and she said, I've been praying for this day.
Wow. So why, this is what I always wanted to ask you on this show. Why that day? No, Bobby, not this time.
Within those 3 years, something happened to me. I want to say maybe 4 years. One day I woke up and I told myself, if you want to leave him, you're going to end up with someone exactly like him, but a different face. So you have to start changing within, because no one's going to come save you anymore. And I had that like a moment that I just knew. So I remember telling myself, everything you grew up with, it's all in front of you right now. It just didn't matter. No matter what I did, it just felt like how the drugs, everything that I ran away from, it was in front of me. So I basically brainwashed. I know it sounds funny, but like I brainwashed myself every night before I went to bed. Every morning I woke up with affirmations, with stuff to tell me that whatever I wasn't, but who I am now is what it's going to be. And my kids, remember, we were in like one bedroom, and they would hear it because I'm like, sorry, we're listening to this all night. And for those 3 years, I did, to the point where I believed it. I believed everything I was listening to, that I started believing that I didn't deserve this and that things can change. And I seen my life starting to change. And that moment happened, and I knew that the fear wasn't there, whether he was going to hate me or divorce me or whatever, that I'm not going to do this. And this is my only chance, whether he gets sober or not. And if he does, he doesn't, but I'm not going to go.
I'm going to be okay either way. Wow. Wow, you actually manifested it. You called it out. That is really powerful. So I want to hear this. So all the kids there, and you're listening, what are you listening to exactly?
Just stuff on YouTube.
Say the one that I would walk in at 2 a.m. and it would be loud. It'd be 2 a.m. and all the TVs would be like, what would it say?
Like money comes to you, or good things come to you, or you're more than, there's just different
like
things.
That's incredible.
Just different things. So I figured.
And it dropped in and you felt it.
The kids memorized it.
To this day, my kids all know it. They all believe it. They all see the results. And
it's incredible.
Yeah.
That is really something. And then not happening. You're stuck. You're kicking and right.
But
you have a moment in jail, Bobby.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't know what I was. I felt like a fish out of water. I was kicking so hard.
see how mad you were.
I was mad. I was calling her, begging her, threatening her, making lies up that I had to get out. Called my mom, called my aunt, and my mom and my aunt are like, these are my people. I can call them. And they both were going to try to bail me out. And then she was like,
I said, if you bail him out, you'll never see your grandkids or your ever again. I'll leave so far away. And I mean it, because that's how desperate I was for him. That was like I knew if he didn't get this, it was done. Like, we were done. His life was done. And this is the only chance we have.
And they felt the strength of your convictions.
They understood everything I
Get
said.
down.
Yeah.
I mean, I called my connection and he was going to bail me out. And it didn't happen.
Right.
And then they took me to court. And I remember it was because it was COVID. They brought the laptop to my cell. Like, I got to look through this thing. And the judge was like on Zoom, and he was like, Mr. Luna, usually it goes like, hey, we're gonna OR you, and then you're getting out in 24 hours at least, or that day. And he goes, we're gonna continue the case, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, and you're gonna be remanded. And when he said that, I was like, I just like laughed. I was like, wow, is this really happening? I was like, wow. And I was so mad that I didn't call her. They had us on this thing where you can get it was a 20, basically every other day you get to come out for 15 minutes and to shower or make a call. And I was like, I didn't want to call her no more, and I couldn't even stand up. So I would shower, and it would be a cold shower, and I'd be shaking in the bed after, and I just would be in there like, is this really happening to me? One day, I would sleep for 30 minutes here and there. I felt suicidal at a point. I had everything in me was like, my body was full detox, like kicking, shaking, muscle spasms, hot, cold flashes. I couldn't eat, dry heave. And one day I woke up and it was done. Like I didn't feel
How many
anything.
days into that 2 weeks
About-
how of that two, you were there for a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
What day did it like the world changed?
I'd say about like 2.5 weeks. I woke up and it was done. I had kicked heroin before and it lasted longer. Like, you'd be done kicking, but you still feel it for like a month. This was more extreme, but once it was done, I felt nothing. I just felt like nothing. And I remember getting on the phone and calling her, and I was like, hey, I love you. You can leave me in here. I feel great. And I'm done kicking. And I remember
And
looking.
you said, and I don't want to go back.
And I don't want to go back. Because I remember thinking if she would have bailed me out, I already had the plan. It was already.
You wouldn't be here right now.
Oh, no. It was like, take the car, go get I don't know if I would have made it back. But I felt free. I was able to smile again. I was joking with the guys in there. Like I felt like it was like I had a new life again. Like I had a spiritual experience for sure. Like something just woke up inside of me, and stayed in there another 2 weeks, right? And took a deal. I had a case, gave me a program and 3 years probation. So they released me to go to Cry Help, and I didn't want to be there, but I stayed. I was only supposed to stay 30 days. I stayed 90.
Why'd you stay 90?
Every day I was there, I wanted to come home. I was talking to her. I heard there was things at the house happening from my past, like people looking for me, hey, is Bobby here? And I just said, there's something. I did not want to go back to that life again that I just came out of. And I said, I got to do everything different. So I did, instead of 90, I did 90. And then I did 90 days of outpatient. And I probably stayed home for about a whole year, huh? I didn't venture out. I didn't go anywhere.
And the cravings were gone. You wanted to be sober then?
You get triggered.
I would see people in the store and they'd be like, hey, you got any? And I would think about it, but I didn't have the desire to use anymore. I didn't have a reservation. Always had reservations.
All right. So what was it like for you in this first year of recovery?
This is going to sound like so surprising because I was surprised about this. I had more anxiety that year than I ever have, ever, to the point where it just felt so like, I don't like this feeling. And I didn't understand it until we talked to our therapist, Mercedes, and she understood.
The great Mercedes.
Yeah,
We love you,
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
Love her. It felt like my body could do better in surviving than it did in a normal. I didn't know what was happening. It was so good. Our life was great. He was good. He was so honest. He was so open. And I've never had that with him, that I think wanted to destroy that at that moment. Like I needed some kind of chaos to survive. But thank God for Mercedes and therapy that we worked through it, because I didn't know how to handle it.
Would you be so kind to tell the audience some of the techniques that she gave you, that Mercedes gave you, to walk you through kind of that early year of anxiety and triggers? And
she explained it's like someone going to war and coming back, where it's so calm that your body is just so used to it mentally, physically, that I had to tell myself, my body, my mind, that this is normal. This is how life is supposed to be. I deserve this. What happened to me before, that is not normal. So anytime I felt anxiety or, she taught him to help me through it. Because, I wanted to argue, not wanting to, I didn't know I wanted to, but we would kind of argue, not realizing that was the fear. It was like, just hurry up and go use. Like, I know you're going to go use, just go. Like, I don't want to sit here and wait. Like, you might as well just go. And he was just like, I'm not. But I just didn't want to sit there and get disappointed, that it was just like, hurry up. I know how to survive. I'd rather just survive.
Do your thing.
Yeah.
Because you really didn't actually believe that he was going to stay sober.
I think I hoped and I believed because I seen my life changing that there was that confidence in me, but I've never seen it before. So it was like, wait, is this really going to happen? Until he started being open and honest and started showing up for me.
And how long in his
Mhm.
sobriety does he realize, like, oh shit, we might actually have a shot here?
A
Last week.
year. Yeah, I think right
That was
now.
last week, see,
Just kidding.
Actually, we're actually still working on that
I want
therapy.
to say he's been sober 4 years. I want to say the first 2 years seemed like a lot for me. I felt like I went through a lot those 2
I'm sure,
years.
of course. But at one point you realize, I think we might have a shot here. Now, what I want to hear from you, and then of course you, Bobby, the children going through this. You know, dad's sober now, but he's still away. They're getting older now. They're smarter, they're more educated. I don't know if what was that? How did you, and I've met your kids. They're all extraordinary. They all have great manners. They're really something. And it's mind blowing to me, actually. It's unfathomable that happened. But how did you walk me through that? Walk the audience through that.
I've always taught them to forgive him early on. I never talked bad about him. I've always thought I always wanted them to know it was never about them. Like he wasn't doing it to them or to us because we were the issues. I know deep down they're going to have to deal with, this throughout their life and heal that process. But as a mom, the only thing I could do was just say that to forgive and pray for him and that one day he will get better. And I think they held on to that. And I think that they believed it and they started seeing it. And it was easy for them to love him, forgive him. Because I think that's all they knew. So they did pretty good with that.
And Bobby, you and I have spoken about this, and it's such a, about how terrifying it was to break your wife's heart. But your kids, the birthdays, the baseball games, the graduations that you didn't show up, and then you started doing all that. Yeah. Talk from your heart right now, brother.
Yeah, I was never present. Even if I was there physically, I was somewhere else mentally. And I think about that a lot, like how fucked up that was. Because it was all my world. I remember the looks on their faces leaving for school, and they just looked sad. And, I dropped them off or help go with her to drop them off and then go run my game. And, it was a lot of turmoil. I remember like yesterday, she would text me, "Are you almost here? She's about to be on stage." I remember that. It was Trinity, Mercedes or Trinity, I believe. And I said, "I'll be right there." I'm like 10 minutes away, and I wasn't even on my way. And literally I wanted to go, but I couldn't. And then I'd get a text from my mom, "Hey, you better get over here." And it's just like, that was a constant, like, my daughter's having an asthma attack, hey, and I'm waiting for the connection. And I'm sick. And she's taking her to the hospital. And then I show up after, like, high. Yeah, it's not a good feeling. So when I got home, what she was talking about, like, it was a lot of work for her the first year. It was a lot of work for her because I just kept my mouth shut and sat on my hands, you know what I mean? And I didn't say much. I was quick to listen, slow to speak. And she's right. Like, we would have some arguments. And that was the one thing that would send me out, is an argument. Like, whatever it went like. And then I'm like, okay, I'm leaving. But I started seeing, like, Mercedes helped me see that she is scared and hurting. And when she's cussing you out and all that, she's just scared. So I didn't take it personal anymore. Before, I'd use that to be like, "Oh, all right, well, fuck you too," or whatever. Sorry about that. And that was my escape route. But now I'm like looking at her like, oh, she's scared and she doesn't want, but this is her way to like, let's get this over with.
Right. And we've talked about it and thank God Mercedes gave you that great coaching. And I think it's a very important thing for listeners to hear this. You got to grow the fuck up. And your thing is, I'm out of here. And this isn't about you anymore. This is about honoring my wife and just shutting the fuck up and just listening to her and not making it about me anymore. Right?
Well,
Can you expand on that?
So I came to my meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I showed up here at Shell, quiet at first, you know, I just listened. And that the one thing that was embedded in me here was the first one to love wins. And I would use that. I would use that in real time at the house. Just love her back, even though it don't feel good. Just cussing you out, calling you names. Just love her back. And I took the high road, and things started really changing when I was, not only that, but I never missed my meetings.
And that I learned, I didn't understand meetings. I kind of got annoyed with meetings. It's like, here we go again, all about you. It's you're going to your meetings, that's all like away from me and the kids again. But John told me something, Zacharias told me something really important early on. He said his meetings are like his medicine. And the moment he stops taking his medicine, his meetings, that's when you know he's going to get sick. And I never forgot that. And every time he went to the meeting, I would tell myself he's taking his medicine. And that's going to help him through our marriage, through our family. And he went and he took his medicine. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, another meeting. But he just kept going. And now
beautiful.
I'm like, go
to Shell. Go to Shell.
Yeah, go take your
You
medicine.
better be going to Wednesday. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jay-Z. Thank you, brother, for laying that down. Talk about Shell, your experience here, Bobby, what you've learned, and all the people you've helped, buddy. Let's talk about that.
I mean, the way it started was I showed up, I watched you, I watched the people around me. You're always open arms, you didn't judge people. They were, people to use, come back, and you would open the door. I mean, I've seen people in the meeting not out, and I would look at you like, are you going to kick them out? And you didn't even give them the time of day. Like, it was just like, hey, that's their thing. Leave them alone. And I respected that. And I learned to just mind my own business. Don't get caught up in any drama. And the meeting after meeting, just showing up. First one to love wins. Learn to like get out of myself. Like it's always about me, and I started saying, well, how can I help someone else out? So the first couple years were like, I was getting a little, getting my foundation down. And then I started you started connecting me with people. And you would be like, Bobby, come here. And you like the whisper in the ear, like, hey, I want you to say hi to this guy. And it was already kind of set up, and I didn't know. So when I shook their hand, it was like, hey, the wink. Mm-hmm. And in business, in like friendship, my sponsor I met here, I remember I came, I heard him share. I gave you the nod, like, hey, I need a sponsor. You gave me the wink. And then like the next day is like, boom, we're connected. And I love my sponsor. I have, I don't know, man, the people I've met in this room has been so pivotal for me because I learned how to live. I see people like you and like Brad McCoy and people that are real ones that have changed their life, and their whole life you would never know. And I said, that's what I want. I don't want to carry my old life into the new life. I don't want to look like my old self. And that it works for me because I had to really make some changes inside, and those changes were pretty hard to make. And it was like, hey, it's not about me. It's about my family, and it's about doing the right thing and always showing up. I just said that to my daughter yesterday. I said, you got to show up like a black belt. Yeah. And I said, that's what we do around here. And I practice that now. I don't miss my meetings. I have a good schedule. I keep my word. But just this room, there's a lot of magic in this room because I'm telling you, when I got here, I would get a ride here. I would, John would buy me a vape from the store.
Right.
And I'm just like fresh out of rehab, and I'm watching these guys with all these successful lives. But I think the most attractive thing is that they were comfortable in their own skin. And it made me, and they didn't judge me. I came in here, my mindset was like, everybody else, my skin color is different sometimes, and it was just that kind of mentality of thinking. And then I just look at, they're all my brothers.
What's the sign on the door say?
No shame allowed.
Let me say something very important, buddy. This is a program of attraction. And because of your sobriety, word gets in the hood, word fucking Bobby's sober. So guys getting out of prison, you're the go-to guy. Guys that are still in the game, you've changed a lot of people's lives because of your sobriety and the love of your wife and what you guys have done as a family. You want to talk about that?
I hear that a lot, especially from the guys that, I'm helping. And I don't like it. Makes me feel uncomfortable, to be honest.
Why?
I don't know. I just like what I say is like, thank God that I got sober. I'm sober, and my job is just to help the next guy, whether that's a job or reading the AA book. And I don't know if that's wrong or right, but I just feel like, I'm here. This is what I learned here to help the next guy, whether it's a job or, sponsoring him or anything like that. So I don't know. Is that weird that I feel uncomfortable? It just makes me feel a little
Well, now you whisper to me.
Yeah.
You whisper to me, brother. Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, man.
I love that.
Then you have an idea for a business. Let's talk about that. Where did that idea drop in?
I think it's very funny. I picked him up one day. He was higher than a kite. He needed a ride, and he asked me, go take me, and he's high. And I was so annoyed with him, and I was just like, just go in rehab. He was supposed to go in rehab. It's like, please just go in rehab. He's like, I have this idea, while he's getting high, telling me this idea about, they need this out here in the streets, this ghost town. And what if someone, can come and connect with the people that they would talk? He told me the whole idea. And I was so annoyed. I was just like, just go to rehab, or you will never do any of that. But it's just so funny that even in that moment, his brain was still trying to come up with how to help and when he needed help. And it was just like amazing to see it now that he still had that.
That was like the height of COVID, right? When you were actually like living
I was under the bridge.
Under the bridge where?
Sepulveda and Venice.
Sepulveda and Venice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where I picked him up.
Overdosed plenty of times there. She'd come with bats looking for me. Rico's wife and her would show up with bats, and me and Rico would be in the tent getting high. We weren't living in there, but we were getting high with fellas, yeah. But there was a lot of stuff happening there, and I seen, locals were getting their stuff stolen. And it would be like people we grew up with, and they're like, that's not right. It's not right all the way around. But I was like, there's got to be a way. So the idea was formed. And then I kind of like forgot about it for a while when I went to jail. And then I came here, and I started making connections with the guys in the room. And, my family's been here such a long time that I have a little, I know a lot of people.
They got a lot of love on the streets, man.
And a lot of people like me, thank God. And I've always been a, good guy and done the right thing. So I seen a need. We formed the company, and one thing after another,
the name of the company?
Ghost Town.
Right.
Yeah.
And how many places do you protect here in Venice and Santa Monica and all over now?
I think 250 properties right now.
You proud of him, honey?
Very proud of him.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow. And tell the good folks what Ghost Town does.
What we do is we protect people. We look out for them. I was the guy that was doing these bad things to people's houses, right? You know, I mean, stealing things. So I got sober, got a good foundation. My partner and I formed this company, and we started, like, I started seeing like people in the room needed the service. John Zacharias took me to his office, and he had this huge encampment. And he was like, "Oh yeah, man." And I was like, "What? Why are they? You know, what's going on?" Check out his building, because John's a good friend of mine. I've known him for a long time, and we were in rehab together. So I'm checking it out, and the people outside, he's like, "Oh, bro, these people are really giving me a hard time." And I ended up knowing the people. So I said, "Well, I can probably get him to go, move up somewhere else, And he's like, "No way. There's no way." So I used to get high with the guy, and it was just like, "What's up, man?" You know what I mean? Like, "How you been?" Yeah. So we had an agreement, and they went on their way, helped them out a little bit. And after that, it was just like, boom, boom, Brad McCoy.
Brad McCoy.
Brad McCoy is like, I just feel like I've known him forever, because when we met, it was just like we saw eye to eye on a lot of things. He had a need. We were really able to help him. And I mean, he's one of my dearest friends now. He's just like a puzzle piece.
Brad called me, right?
No.
Yeah. He says, "I'm thinking about this idea to do that. What do you think?" I said, "Make it happen, man." You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah, because he told me, he came up, he told me about it. So big shout out to him. So you started the company.
I started the company. It was like, one property, the next property, and we got I think we got up to like 40 properties, and that was a lot. And it was like me and my wife and my partner and his wife, and we split the properties in half. And we're like both doing them together.
Right.
And it's like, but we're looking out for people like we would want. We know what we're looking for.
And doing an incredible job.
Yeah. We know like who's, so, and again, we started this thing like doing the right thing. Never nothing shady. Always, doing the right thing. And yeah, so it grew, like it went from 40 to like 100 in like 6 months.
I think it's also important we give a shout out to Brother Jack.
Oh, Jack. Jack is, I mean, I tell her all the time, like, Jack is like a mentor to me. He's so wise and like street smart and quiet, but everything that comes out of his mouth is just gold. I can call Jack on a personal matter, business matter, and he just gives me the best advice. But Jack really believed in us and has been by our side. Him and Brad have been like right by our side the whole time.
And you put a lot of folks to work.
Yeah.
Cool. A lot of people have jobs because of you.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And Venice is a safer place because I know personally what you did with the RVs over here, which was a real problem for me, psychologically, spiritually, those cats, and you got them out. And I've always been indebted to you for that because they weren't going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. We meet them where they're at, and we treat them like human beings. And again, we have relationships with these people.
Right.
So it just worked.
Yeah.
It's not like, we can approach them. We would go in the RV and talk to them.
Because you know how it is.
Oh, I've
You know
been
the
there.
language.
Been there.
Yeah, it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Best I get.
And it just works. So,
Right.
yeah.
How you still get triggered?
I think I do. I think I do. Mhm.
And what are the triggers now?
I don't get them as much, but when I do, I'm taught to communicate with him how I'm feeling. And I didn't do that before. I would just lash out. So I'll say, you said you're going to come home at this, what's going on? But he communicates more with me now. So if he says something, I expect it. I'm very like that. Like, if he told me this, I expect it. So I try not to be as hard like that because that's just my thing. So I'll just let him know, like, this is what I'm feeling. You said this, and he just meets me where I'm at and he lets me know. And I think it's a beautiful thing. I think I didn't understand that marriage can be this good. Like, that's I'm like, this is what a healthy marriage is. I never seen it, never experienced it until now. We seek therapy. No one ever told us to do that. I was desperate and I did that. Those were my boundaries with him when he came out. I was like, this is what we're going to do if we're going to make this work.
And I've been blessed to celebrate so many wins with you guys individually, and probably one of my favorite ones is you taking your daughter to Europe to go to college. Yeah, what? I mean, holy cow!
That's
What? To walk the audience through that. This is such a big deal.
let me try not to get emotional about that, but it is a very big deal. She has been such a good like daughter, everything. She's such a student. She's always done her work. She been wanting to go to college, and if he didn't get sober, she wasn't going to be able to do any of this. I mean, I worked and I did everything I can to provide for them, but what she's doing is way above what I was providing for my kids. But when the opportunity came and she wanted to do this, he was there sober and ready to provide and pay for whatever she needed to pay. And she went to Italy for 3 months to study out there through LMU. And now she's in London.
She was in Florence, right?
She was in Florence, yes. Mm-hmm.
First one in our family. to go to
First
college.
one in the family, right? Incredible. Talking about ending generational trauma.
We're definitely doing whatever it takes together to break what we caused, what was done in our past that they didn't know better. And now we're trying to undo all that.
I mean, we were sitting in the front room the other day, and those generational chains are like breaking off right in front of us. Like our kids are getting better grades now. See? Yeah.
Why do you laugh?
Because we just have an inside joke
Inside
about
joke.
the grades.
Yeah, okay, good. All right.
They're getting better grades now. They're like, they don't have to worry about us arguing or me leaving or, the cops, coming to the house. They're living their best lives, and we're just sitting back watching it. There's food in the fridge. The bills are paid. The rent's paid. I mean, there's gas in the car.
No one's worrying where dad's at.
Just for me to leave the house and have some money and have the keys to the car is,
It's a very big.
that's like, I mean,
And knowing that he's going to come back, he would take the keys and be like, I'm going to go get something. And chances are he wasn't
Go to
coming
7-Eleven
back.
3 days later. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. But he did whatever it took to gain my trust. And I think people need to hear that. Like, people get sober, husbands or vice versa, and they come back and they expect that other person's supposed to just allow that and that's normal. And you got to build that. You got to earn that. And I think that he did whatever it took. If it meant, and he was willing, it's like, okay, whatever it takes for you to, trust me again, I'm going to do it. And that alone helped a lot. It's like, you have questions, ask me. You want to see my phone? Here's my phone. You want the door open from the bathroom? I'll have it open. To the point where I just was like, he's serious.
No, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole thing with the kids, like when I was getting high, the kids always wanted to come with me. And I would no. I'd even like get mad and say, no, you got to stay here. I'll be right back. And that was the sign that, I was going to go get high. Now it's like, who wants to go?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll all get in the car just to go up the street. And I love it now.
So
I
much
get
love
to
in
do
your
it.
family, man. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So much love. What advice do you have to the moms, girlfriends who are struggling and their partners are in active addiction right now? What is your message for them?
Dig deep inside of you. Don't focus on him anymore. They become our addicts. And even though we're not doing the drugs, that becomes our drug. And we think we could change them. And no amount of love can ever make someone sober. I wish, because he would have been sober. Unfortunately, we didn't make him that way and we can't undo it. You got to surrender to that and start digging deep inside why this is even in your life. What allowed you to even be around someone like that? There is a reason, and we just don't know it sometimes. And once you find that connection and forgive and let go and self-love, you'll attract that healing and you'll start seeing the changes.
Wow, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Whether they come out of your life or they get sober.
Yeah.
But you'll see the changes.
Beautiful. And Bobby, what advice you got to our brothers and sisters who are still doing the dance, struggling in the spot that you were? What's the message you want to send to everybody out in the world right now?
You have to love yourself. I didn't love myself, and I couldn't love anybody else. And I took everybody down with me. And it was the moment that I looked in the mirror in jail after kicking. I was like, why do I keep doing this to myself and doing this to my family? So I had to care about myself inside and who I was as a man to be able to stay sober. And I feel like that's what kept me this time. And helping others get out of yourself and help somebody else. It ain't all about you, no ego. I try to stay as humble as I can. I put one foot in front of the other. I do the right thing and I help the next guy. And I don't really talk about it. I just do it. It's not a show. It's just it's between you and God, and that's it.
Right on. No more praise. No more praise. I want to end it with an exercise I do with couples. One in the show. What?
I don't know.
What's old Seano up to?
Yeah.
All right. You're going to start, Bobby, and I just want you to look at your beautiful wife and just tell her things that you love about her. And then you'll things that you love about your wife.
I love that you're a beautiful person inside, that you're loyal, that you're one of the best mothers I know. And I love your principles. You have always been, since the day one, that you stand for what's right. And I love that about you.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
What do you love about your sweetie?
He's a good guy.
You got to look and tell him.
You're a good guy. And even throughout the whole drug stuff, there was a good guy in there. Good-hearted guy who also, I know that he was going to be a good dad. And you're a hard worker. You're very smart. And you love people. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Guys, thank you for being on the show. A real blessing. And let's just keep the love going, shall we?
Let's do it. Let's keep on going.
Let's keep on going. Boom. The Seano Show is a production of iHeart Podcasts, hosted by me, Seano McFarland, produced by Pod People and 28th Ave. Our lead producer is Keith Cornelick. Our executive producer is Lindsay Hoffman. Marketing lead is Ashley Weaver. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week.